Don't please. Okay, here's the thing. Don't take this as me saying like I'm no longer a Giants fan. I'm a Giants. I mean, clearly I'm still a Giants fan. I'm going to root for them, but what is there like 16 hockey games tonight or something? Tonight's the Frozen Fury or whatever like that. So this is a football show. We will be talking about power rankings and the NFL and everything like that, but it is also hockey season. Let's go Devils. Let's go. Wait, is the NBA starting tonight too?
It's either tonight or tomorrow night.
Oh, the NBA starting soon. We got 2 college games. Got 16 NHL games. Who needs the Giants? Who needs the Giants? Who needs the Giants? And welcome to the countdown, everybody. It is your boy King. That is your good friend Jimbo right over there. And we are here to give you who are our top teams in the NFL after week 7 in the power rankings. And a couple of surprises. A couple not so surprises. A couple that I had hoped would be a surprise that were not a surprise. And then just a lot of other stuff going on here. But Jimbo, how you doing, buddy?
After watching that Eagles-Giants game, the Giants' performance was so bad, it literally makes my face hurt now, especially like this side of my face.
Just I can't feel this side of my face.
That's not so much here or here, but right here.
But right into here. So you're obviously pretty happy after this week. From I still see. I don't think you've changed your jersey since.
No, slept in it.
Yeah, I was gonna say. You big fan of Nick Sirianni right now. You'd be real huge Sirianni fan. Big fan of what he's doing there in Philadelphia with you guys, helping you guys out and all that stuff. So I'm glad to see that. You know that you're on the Sirianni bandwagon, helping to grow those flowers in the manure and everything.
Not so much my dog, though. He carved a pumpkin out this weekend and still has a sign that says "Fire Sirianni" after the win. I don't know. He's a weird dog.
He's got that dog in him. He knows. Even like Sirianni tried to say, everybody, he's got the dog. We got a dog. We got dogs. We got dogs here. No, your dog, a true dog, knows. He knows. He's a smart guy. But yeah, no. Giants got crushed. It was a terrible weekend for me. But it was fun for streaming with everybody and having all that happen. So that was great as well. Had a lot of people in the chat. Had a lot of people subscribe. We're getting a subscriber count back up there. I think we're at 178 now. So getting closer and closer. Thank you guys so much for all that. By the way, if you're watching along and you're not a subscriber yet, what is wrong with you? Hit that subscribe button right down there. While you're at it, also hit the like and the share button. Again, the likes help with the algorithm. YouTube loves those little nuggets, those little algorithm treats. Eats them up so very nicely. And of course, share us like your favorite STD. And it's a lot more fun to share that way too. Trust me. So go ahead and do that as well. Also, if you want to help us out more directly, we have links to the donation station down in the description below. Same with that's from Buy Me a Coffee, by the way. Same with our merch store. That is the link for that is down below as well. And we have a new leader in the leaderboard, by the way. I don't have the ticker down here on the countdown, but most times we have the ticker. Pecan, right now, leader in the clubhouse with $15 donated to us here at Stay Tuned Sports. Again, thank you so much, Pecan, for all of your help. And if you want to be a leader on the leaderboard there in the donation station, all you have to do is donate more than $15. But, of course, we accept and love and appreciate. Even if you donate 5 cents, we don't care. Thank you so very. If you donate 4 cents, if you donate 1 cent, we appreciate it. Trust me, we really do. So thank you all, everybody, so much for giving us your support and helping us out here on Stay Tuned Sports. How about we just get right down to it, Jimbo? Let's crack it open. There we go. Nice little transition. First, of course, as we do every week, let's start off with the Bootycheeks Five, the 5 worst NFL teams in the NFL as we see it. Jimbo, popping your Bootycheeks 5 up here right now, and you can go ahead and explain it to everybody what it looks like. And for you, there's not a ton of changes here. A couple of pieces shift around, but not much of a change.
Yeah, no. So just jumping into it, at number five, I have the Miami Dolphins. Lost to the Colts this past weekend. Sounds like Tua is coming back at some point this season, so maybe their team gets
Maybe
a
even
little
this
bit
week. It
better.
seems like it might even be this week. We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. Um, it's just been a bad ride for them since Tua has been hurt, has been out. Um, but that Colts team, they're when they got Anthony Richardson in there, they're inconsistent. They're average. If they have Joe Flacco in there, I'll consider them a playoff team. And for them to lose to the Colts, they gotta stay down there at number five. Number four, I have the New England Patriots. No, yeah, New England Patriots. Sorry,
I'm getting a call. Someone's not happy with your
Robert
picks.
Kraft. Yeah, I was like, oh
Someone is
Jesus,
not
okay.
happy with your picks.
Um, it was hard for me to keep them at four and not put them at one since the Jaguars just completely dismantled them, and the Jaguars are garbage. And it's probably mind blowing to you why I have the Jaguars at actually number three here on the list. I think this game was just like a fluke. I don't think
You think
Jacksonville
it's a
is.
you think the Jaguars are worse than the Patriots?
Yeah.
That's an
Overall,
insane thing. I'll tell you right now, that's an insane thing. That's an
overall,
absolutely
I
insane thing.
just
By the way, the Jaguars, I believe, are out. Just as a little spoiler alert, I think the Jaguars are out of my Bootycheeks Five. They won themselves out.
okay. Maybe eventually win themselves into the top 12 for years.
Boy, they'd have to go on some kind of fucking run to do that. But
And then at number two, I have the Cleveland Browns. Um, Deshaun Watson gets hurt. That game was because I mean, while me and you were doing the watch along with the Eagles Giants game there, I had the Bengals and Browns game on my TV watching it, and I mean he was just terrible. Deshaun Watson gets hurt, and I thought, okay,
I'll
this
be
is
I'll be honest. I'll be honest with this. Deshaun Watson, to be fair, in that game to start. I'm not counting any of the other games. I'm not going to do that.
okay.
But in that game, was actually playing fairly efficiently and well before he
Right
got
before
hurt.
he got hurt, yeah. But like starting off the game, he was just
In that game, he did not play badly. He really didn't. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think he did.
yeah,
Again, that doesn't discount everything else. That doesn't discount all the other stuff that's going on. It doesn't discount the problems that he's had. All of that stuff. That's like it doesn't change any of that. But for that moment, for that time, to
yeah.
sit there and say like, oh well, he was playing really shitty in that game anyway. I don't think he was. I think he played well in the beginning part of that game.
He gets hurt, and then DCR, VCR, whatever his initials are, came in.
DTR, come on.
Um, he was not much better. Then he gets hurt, and finally Jameson comes in. Um, maybe with a week's practice with Winston, maybe they could turn something around here. But I don't foresee them getting much better the rest of this year. Then at number one, back at number one, Carolina Panthers. They're just it's basically like Bryce Young playing again. Like the team just is terrible.
They're bad. They're bad.
Terrible.
They're a bad team. They're a bad team. Listen, they're a bad team.
When,
You
when
know,
you got your star wide receivers saying, "Listen, I can only catch the ball. I can't run out there on defense and get the fumble, cause the fumble, and just basically get me out of this place." It's not a
no,
good
we don't. No,
organization
no,
to be
no.
with.
They're a bad. They're a bad team. They're a bad team. They're a
Yeah.
bad team. Everybody
So
knows that, unfortunately. And it was like, oh, maybe when you saw it was at week 3 when they put in Andy Dalton, it's like, oh, maybe they're actually not a bad team, and it was just Bryce Young or I think no, they're just a bad team. They just happened to play a very bad Raiders team at that time. So
yeah.
I think that's what that is. So there's Jimbo's Bootycheeks 5 at 28 is the Dolphins, 29 the Patriots, 30. He still has the Jaguars, he has the Jaguars worse than the Patriots. So this is Jimbo, ladies and gentlemen. Just welcome to the show. Welcome to the Jimbo Show. This is how it goes. Trust me. He had the Colts at 0-2 in his power rankings at one point in the show. Just want to point that out. I'm just saying, just pointing that out there. At number 31, he has the Browns, and at 32, dead last in the NFL, he has the Carolina Panthers. Now, as for my Bootycheeks 5, booty, rocking everywhere. At number 28, I have the New York Football Giants. What an embarrassment of a franchise the New York Giants are and have been. I believe they were the only team this week to not score a touchdown. Or maybe the Chargers didn't score a touchdown. I think they only had field goals in their Monday night game. But even so, at least they got into double digits. The Giants scored 3. That's how many licks it takes to get the center of a Tootsie Pop. All right? That's what they did. That's all they did. 3 points against the Eagles. You let Saquon Barkley come back into MetLife Stadium and have the most yards he ever ran for in MetLife Stadium, a place where he played for 6 fucking years.
I don't know.
And he had the most yardage.
He had a chance at getting his career high, and he told Sirianni, no, let the other guys go in and play.
So, no, for his career high, sure. But that's for career overall. That's for, I'm talking about in every game that he's ever played at MetLife Stadium.
Okay.
The most yards he ever ran for was on Sunday.
Okay.
For the Eagles. So
I just want you to repeat that again. It sounded
you're
nice.
a fucking dick. But yeah, I mean, the Giants right now are just an embarrassment. And, maybe this is a little bit of too close to home or sour grapes or whatever it is. But the Giants are just bad. We're bad. And people might say, well, what about the defense? Well, the defense also gave up fucking 28 points. And we've given up points to a lot of other teams as well. So, well, you can't blame them. They're always out there. That's true, too. And the offenses, but listen, football's a team sport. Football's a team sport. You don't lose with one player. You don't win with one player. You don't win with just offense. You don't lose with just offense. You don't win with just defense. You don't lose with just defense. It's a complete and utter team sport. And the Giants, as a whole, as a team, fucking suck. And that's why I think they're the 28th worst team in the NFL. 29, I got the Carolina Panthers. 1-5, again, like we talked about, I think they are just bad. They're just a bad team. And when we're down here, and again, we're in week 7 now. We're after week 7, heading into week 8. If you find yourself down here, you're just a bad team. This is where you're going to be here or hovering around here for the whole season. And for the Panthers, whether they move up or down or left or right or side to side, whichever way, we're going to see the Panthers logo here pretty much the rest of the season. I think we can all agree on that. Well, some other ones might get up and move and go or whatever. Who knows? The Browns might get a streak with Winston and they find themselves out of the booty cheeks at some point. But I think the Panthers are going to be here to stay. But I have them at 29. At 30, I have the Dolphins. Again, they played a Colts team, like you mentioned, that did not look good. Was very inconsistent with Anthony Richardson. And I know why they started, because that is the future of your franchise. He has to get reps. He has to play games. He has to. And I think Joe Flacco knows that. This is not an indictment on Joe Flacco. This is not saying, Joe Flacco wasn't working. Clearly he was. But you have to make it work. You have to see what Anthony Richardson has, if you can mold him and sculpt him into a quarterback, especially if you have Joe Flacco there, if he can help him out, kind of smooth out some of those edges when it comes to Anthony Richardson. So you still, I get that. But if you're the Dolphins, again, you have a chance to do something here. But, again, what you're seeing is Mike McDaniel can't do anything without Tua.
Yeah.
And let's also be fair. Tua, before he decided to be, rockhead and stupid and try to run his head through DeMar Hamlin's chest, which should count as attempted murder. I'm just going to say that. He was not playing well and did not have a great game anyway.
Yeah.
So, again, I have the Dolphins at 30. Again, there's a lot of no changes here. The Giants were really the only changes and not right. Everybody else is still the same from last week. Patriots, got boat raced by the Jaguars in London. You get boat raced by the Jaguars, you're bad. I'm sorry. And you don't get to move anywhere. You stay right where you are. And the only reason they didn't move any further down is because at 32, I have the Cleveland Browns, who are just, again, they got worse because they got rid of Amari Cooper. Deshaun Watson, they might have gotten better because Deshaun Watson got injured, but, and then you have the players coming out saying, he's a model citizen. He's a great man. It's like, Miles, maybe don't. Like, maybe say, we don't boo people who get injured. We don't want that. That's not a good look for us. Don't do that. Something like that. But when you go out there and say, like, how dare you boo him? He's a model citizen and a great man. Although, to be fair, Myles Garrett did feloniously assault a man on a field with his own football helmet. So
Very true.
Take that
Very
with
true.
a grain of salt as it is. But there's my Bootycheeks Five. The Giants at 28, the Panthers at 29, Dolphins 30, Patriots 31, and the Cleveland Browns at 32. Now we get to the good stuff. Now we get to what we all have come here for, the good part of the NFL, the top 12, the power rankings here. So let's get this going. We got our covers out here. Let's get Jimbo's picks out here first. Jimbo, run us through your top 12.
All right, at 12, I have the Atlanta Falcons again.
They got boat raced at home by a fraud alert Seahawks team. Everybody had the Seahawks on fraud alert. You had the Falcons at home at the Butthole Dome where they were going to be able to say, hey, we can take real chokehold of the NFC South. And they got whooped. How do you have them not moving up or down anywhere?
You've been waiting all day to say that.
Yes, I have held on to that since I saw your goddamn picks. I was like, what are you doing?
Like, I mean, some of the other teams that are below them right now, like the Niners, they're not a good team right now.
No, I wouldn't put the Niners in that position either, no.
The Jets aren't a good team.
No, I
right
wouldn't
now.
put the Jets there either.
I think the Falcons could beat the Cowboys.
It depends on what day, I think, honestly, to tell you the truth,
Yeah,
the way the
so, I
Falcons
mean,
play.
like, and then when you see the other teams I have here above them, like at number 11, I have my Philadelphia Eagles back in the top 12 here.
That's whatever.
And this was not a like.
Yes, it was.
I'm
A
putting that- I swear to God,
1,000%
I swear
was.
to God.
That's 1,000% the reason why you have
I
that.
swear to God, it wasn't. What they showed me on Sunday. Okay, Grant. Yes, it was the Giants. Let's not forget the first quarter. The Giants defense played good. I mean, you guys held us to 0 points. Once the Eagles said, you know what, we're going to run the ball, and Sirianni, Barkley, Gainwell, even Hurts getting a couple runs there. It seems like they're going away from let's just pass a lot and mixing the run to let's run the ball like we should have been all season and mix in the passes. So that's why I have them at 11. It seems like the first 6 games of the year, they were still trying to figure out their offense. I'm thinking that this Giants game helped them figure out their offense.
No, you played a shitty fucking team. You beat a
They held us
shitty
to no
team that you're
points.
supposed to beat. Now you got to go play the Bengals. Prepare to take that fucking L, buddy.
I don't know. Wait till you see my picks.
Forecast Friday, by the way. We'll be right here on Stay Tuned Sports. Stay tuned for that.
At number 10, I have the Houston Texans.
Okay,
I didn't know if
I
you were-
agree.
I
There's
didn't know
not
if you were
much
gonna
really to
have
say
another
there.
rant.
They lost, and it was by a point. I'm knocking them down. What did you knock them down? 2 there. Like, yeah, that's all right. I say I'll acquiesce to that. I'll say that's not bad.
I think I said last week, and it just, kind of going back to last year with the Eagles, what you said about the Eagles, they just seem like an average team with a really good record. And I don't believe that record is what they are. So that's why I kind of have them at 10 there. At number 9, I have the Buffalo Bills. If they won, I think I would have had them a couple spots higher. But I'm chalking the loss up to the
What
fact
loss?
that, or like not the loss, but like the,
I was gonna say they beat the Titans and beat them pretty well.
yeah, but like Amari Cooper supposedly didn't know some of the plays. Like I think it could have been.
Yeah,
even
they
worse
because he
again.
just got there. That's a weird way to kind of put that. To have him I get having them no change because they beat the Titans who
Yeah.
they're the Titans. Even with Mason Rudolph, they're the Titans. So and I think I kind of have them as a no change too on my picks. Spoiler alert, maybe, but so I get that, but like that as a reason, yeah. After the first quarter, they were down 10-0, and you're looking like, oh shit, what is this going to happen? And then they took over and they did what they needed to do. I understand also that Josh Allen is not. These last couple games, he's not played the way you would figure he did in the first 3 games.
Yeah.
And so, but the Bills have won their last 2 against, you can argue, maybe not the best competition, especially when it comes to, the Jets and the Titans are definitely not great.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, I get it, but yeah, that's a weird to say that it's because Amari Cooper didn't know the plays. It's like motherfucker got there on Wednesday, like like
Yeah.
he didn't know, and it's not like Devontae Adams going back to Aaron Rodgers where it's like okay, well. We have the same guys. We have the same offensive coordinator. Like we know, he knows the verbiage and the cadence and all that shit. Like it's like putting on an old pair of blue jeans there with Aaron Rodgers. Amari was literally going somewhere, and he had he had his old buddy there telling him like, "Well, which way do I run?" He's just go towards the fucking end zone and throw it to you. See what happens. You got a touchdown.
Yeah.
I think if anything, that should have put them higher because the guy scored a touchdown. Didn't know what the fuck he was doing.
Yeah. And then at number 8, I got the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
I was surprised how well Russell Wilson played. I really thought it was a big mistake switching to Wilson and not.
You're not the only one.
There.
You're not the only one.
And yeah, and it showed. I mean, it wasn't like he played like Fields and just managed the game, but he one rushing touchdown.
What was it? About a quarter and a half in though, like the crowd was starting to get restless. They were starting to boo him. It was getting a little dicey there for a second. People were like getting that itchy trigger finger, and I was like, how short of a leash do you have on Russell Wilson for this game? But the end of that second quarter and then the second half, they just took the fuck over, and Russell started hitting bombs down there to Pickens, and it was game over from there.
And that's another thing I want to add too is like, does Russell Wilson open up George Pickens' talent now? I mean, George Pickens has been. Ooh, wow! I got the name right. I just thought that.
I was gonna say.
When he was with Justin Fields, he was not playing the best football that he could play, and here he had a pretty decent game. Number 7, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Down 2, only down 2 after kind of really getting manhandled yesterday.
Yeah, and I have them down 2. Okay, I had to look at my notes here.
You have notes?
Like you well, kind of. shows you how good my notes are that you question all my.
I'm saying that was kind of the question. It's like, you got notes? You're just winging this shit? All right. Yeah, cool.
But it's hard for me to make a team. Like, you got to be really, really bad. Like, say the Dallas Cowboys a couple weeks ago, had them up in my top 12. I had them drop like 5 spots after, the one blowout they got blown out by. Tampa Bay, even though they lost, I still went before the injuries. They were a good team, even if they lost this game with healthy receivers. Now they don't have Godwin, who's out for the year.
They don't have Godwin, who might be out
Evans.
for the year. It depends on how that goes. And Evans is out at least until week 11.
Yeah, and so now it's like, now we get to see can Baker throw this team on his back and just carry them. So this
big game this week,
week,
by the way. Big game. Falcons. Second game with the Falcons coming up this week. They're wearing their creamsicles too, so they can't let down Bucko Bruce, baby. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But
we'll see what type of Baker Mayfield shows up. At number 6, I have the Green Bay Packers. They could be higher. They could be higher if Jordan Love would stop being like so. I'm gonna be Brett Favre 1 minute, and then I'm gonna be Bryce Young the next minute making stupid, passes and shit.
Well,
like
that's
that.
Brett Favre. I mean, Brett Favre was good, and then also Brett Favre. So
but Brett Favre, when he made stupid passes, he still
a lot like Brett Favre. Jordan Love throws off his back foot a lot. Well, so does Aaron Rodgers. That seems to be a Green Bay fucking thing. Yeah. It's like, everybody just wants to scramble and improvise and then throw off their back foot. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, as we've seen with Brett Favre, with Aaron Rodgers, and now with Jordan Love. Close game with the Texans. Yes. And I guess it depends on where you want to put the Texans, how you feel about them. If you think the Texans are indeed like a full credited 5-2 team, their stats do look good. I go by eyeball test more than stats. That's always kind of been my thing. Our thing really has always been more, It looks like, it seems, it feels like, instead of the numbers and all that kind of shit. But numbers-wise, the Texans are a good team. Looks-wise, but you had a team that was 5-1 come into your house and you beat them. Granted, it was on a last-second field goal by somebody that you just signed in the middle of the week. But I don't know, like no change. I don't know. Maybe I would have put them up, but again, I think with the way the rest of the picks shake out, same kind of with mine. Like it's you start when you get here, it's hard to bump up or move people depending on how you do. And again, only winning with a last second field goal, winning by 2 points is I get it, but still, it's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah, and it's kind of like you always see like the graphs on Facebook or X, top tier Super Bowl teams. Kansas City, San Fran, Super Bowl possibilities, Philadelphia Eagle, wild card team. Like, by the time you get to like, at least on my list, by the time you get to like, probably this next pick, like these guys will be like the second tier, and then 1 through 4 is like the top tier of my top 12. So number 5, I have the Washington Commanders. Even after they had the loss to the Ravens. They come back. I mean, Jaden Daniels, granted, gets hurt, but blow out the Panthers. Granted, I know it's the Panthers, but still, to win by 33 points against any...
The fact that you were able to win and score 33 points with fucking Marcus goddamn Mariota says something. That says something about you,
And I got to witness him firsthand with the Eagles, and that wasn't the Mariota we had.
Now, granted, I think you do have to take into account that they were playing the Panthers, but still, Marcus Mariota scoring any points against even the Panthers is quite the accomplishment.
Yeah. So I don't think they're, a fraud or anything. I think this is a team. Now, how long is Daniels out for? I don't think there was a...
It's week to week. They just said week to week. That's all. So, boy, I'll tell you what, fucking... Fox, or is it Fox or CBS? They're hoping like hell that he's fucking good to come and play because they moved all the games around so that he can play in that game of the week primetime spot. And if he's not there, they're gonna. It's like, well, shit. Yeah, him and Caleb Williams there with the Commanders and Bears. Although they're wearing their shitty black uniforms, so. But what are you gonna do?
But I mean, if Daniels is out. Can Mariota just right the ship until Daniels comes back?
Against that Bears defense? I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, we'll see, though.
We'll see.
Because wait till you see my picks. Number 4, I have the Minnesota Vikings. I don't think they're frauds, but to lose against a division rival who I have...
On a last-second field goal.
Yeah, compared to these next 2 teams are above them, I had to put them at 4. Number 3, I got the Baltimore Ravens. I kind of want to put them at number 2, but I was like, even though I've been on the bandwagon for a couple weeks now, I want to see if this run game that they found with
this run game, that happens to have the best running back in the fucking league on there. This run game, come on.
And then Jerry Jones going out, I'll see the salary cap, and we had other players to sign, so that's why...
Well, here's the thing, is Zeke was good with this system. He knew this system. So I don't know if Derrick Henry was going to come in here and be good in this system, because he didn't know the system like Zeke knew the system. Are you fucking kidding me, Jerry? Like, come on, Jerry. Stop it, Jerry.
And not to get off, topic here of our show here, but I really wonder how long a GM would have lasted by this point in the season if Jerry Jones wasn't the GM, if he was just strictly the owner, and he had a GM.
Again, like I said, if you look throughout history, Jerry Jones has consistently put in probably one of, if not the most talented teams on paper on the field. This year's not it. This year, that was not the case. When they said they're going to go all in, they didn't do shit. But, yeah, I mean, you look at the last 20 years of the Cowboys, they've consistently had one of the best on-paper teams that just never gelled. Players revolted and just didn't play well, and then it was always something. Again with Dallas, it's always something. But on paper, they were always good. So as a GM, I give him decent marks. Like everybody wants to shit on him as a GM. I think he, is or was a decent GM. This year, not great. This year has not been
Yeah.
good.
I mean, I'll give Joe Shane an A+ on the whole Barkley
I'm
thing.
gonna fucking shit in your mouth. I swear to Christ.
Number 2, I got the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, they're 6-0. All season so far, they have been
Mahomes
winning
had 2 picks and no touchdowns in that game.
And here's something that I meant to look up to see if this was accurate, but because it was one of those graphs that you see on Facebook or Twitter. Trevor Lawrence has less interceptions than Mahomes and more touchdown passes.
Mahomes has the most picks in the league right now.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be the MVP.
He's number one in picks.
The franchise.
And Vegas still has him as the odds-on favorite. But here's the thing, and this is the thing that people always seem to forget, is that the odds in Vegas are dictated by how people bet their money.
Yeah.
So the reason that Mahomes' odds are still so high is because people are still fucking putting money on him to be the MVP. And thinking at some point he's going to turn it around or be something like that. So, I don't know. But here's my thing. If the Chiefs ever do fucking turn it around,
we're screwed.
The rest of the league just might as well give the fuck up. Because they're 6-0 playing like shit. Yeah, granted, their defense is chef's kiss. But the fact that that offense has been playing the way it has, and they're 6-0, they're just... Again, it's dumb, and you want to yell at them and be like, well, if this team suck, how are they still winning? They suck, and there are all the other reasons or whatever. But, like, if they ever click, if they ever get some of the injuries come back, if they trade to get another couple weapons or wide receiver or something like that, if then and Mahomes stops throwing the ball to the other team, look the fuck out.
Yeah, and it kind of strike me like, didn't they last year have like, okay, they started off good, but then they went through like a 5-6 week span of playing like this, and then just took off
towards the middle and later half of the year. Like, so they had lost. I remember distinctly when they lost to the Raiders on Christmas, and that was the whole thing. And everybody was, Travis Kelce was throwing his helmet, and people were like, "Oh my God, he's going to abuse Taylor." and like Mahomes was getting upset and screaming on the sidelines, and it was a whole big thing. And it was like, "Oh, is this the end of the Chiefs?" And I remember when we went into the playoffs, and it was like, "This is going to be the chance. This is people's chance to take out the Chiefs." And the Chiefs had to go to Buffalo to go ahead and advance in the playoffs because they beat Miami in that -9 degree game, whereas like Miami had no shot in that game. But like that was the game where Buffalo had a chance to really finally beat them, and they missed wide right, Buffalo tradition. And then you had the Ravens at home with the MVP, and they playoff Lamar showed up. And they got there, and then it took them overtime to beat the 49ers. But that was everybody's chance. That was the Bills, Ravens, and 49ers' chance to beat the Chiefs because they were not that great last year. And nobody still did it. And now here we are. They are certainly not great. The first 7 weeks of the season, they are not great.
Yeah.
But they're 6-0.
Yeah. Somehow. And then at number 1, I have the Detroit Lions. So the beginning of that game, they were kind of up on Minnesota. Minnesota kind of came back, made a close game till the end there. But I just think as far as the NFC, I think they are the team to beat. We see the 49ers are just so banged up that I don't know if they're going to be able to come out of this.
I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I don't know who the team to beat in the NFC is. All I know is that they reside in the NFC North. That is the only division I think that has any serious Super Bowl contenders, whether it's the Lions, whether it's the Vikings, or whether it's the Packers. I think you have those 3 teams. I think every other division or any other team is, at this point, and also in the NFC West, just looks bad, as it is right now. Now, I know that the Rams and the Niners both have major injury issues, and the Seahawks are, well, I think the Seahawks are leading the division now at 4-3. So not great, but so that's not great. The NFC South is the NFC South. Again, great 1 week, bad the next. Buccaneers, Falcons, they're all the same. And then also you have the Saints and the Panthers. Holy shit. And you got the NFC East, which is just outside of the Commanders, but even they, their defense isn't good at all. So while their offense is looking good and while all that's happening well, the Eagles are mediocre at best. The Cowboys are bad, and the Giants are fucking horrendous. So when you look at the NFC as a total, really the only strong contenders you have are those three teams in the NFC North. And we'll see what happens with the Bears if they continue to play the way that they're playing and Caleb keeps on getting better and better, that defense keeps on playing better. They could throw their argument in there too. And then you have all four NFC North teams being the only legitimate NFC contenders. But as far as that goes, putting the lines up there at number one, like that's I can't argue that, and I can't argue what you're saying that you think that the Lions are the NFC team to beat. I think you can make an argument that they are amongst the NFC teams to beat, along with the Vikings and the Packers. But you definitely can't say they're not, even with the loss of Hutchinson.
Yeah. Now this weekend, I'm curious to see how this Minnesota team responds to a pretty much a heartbreaking division loss. Can they get back on track here and put some games together?
You lost by 2 points to the defending division champions. It was at home. It is your first loss, so there's a lot to be said about that. I don't think this is as devastating of a loss as one might think, but we'll see. You never know how it affects the team. We'll see how Darnold responds. We'll see how the rest of that team responds. But I still think the Vikings are clearly one of the best teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
Again, they're 2 points away from still being one of the only undefeated teams in the NFL. And I know, close only counts on horseshoes and hand grenades, but it's hard to say that the Vikings, this is going to be the Vikings' downfall. I don't see that.
Yeah.
All right, so there you go. There is Jimbo's top 12. He's got the Lions at number 1, the Chiefs at number 2, the Ravens at 3, the Vikings at number 4. Then he's got the Washington football team of Redskin Commanders at number 5, the Packers at 6, the Bucks at 7. He's got the Pittsburgh Steelers, here we go. Steelers, here we go, at number 8, which your sister must be absolutely ecstatic by the way. Then you have the Bills at 9, no change there. The Texans at 10. The Eagles bopping their way into the fucking top 12, fucking scumbags, at number 11. And at number 12 for no change as well, the team that got absolutely mollywopped at home by a team that was on fraud alert. But hey, these are Jimbo's picks, man. This is what we expect. This is what we got. The Falcons at number 12. So that is Jimbo's top 12. Now we'll go quickly through mine here and knock all of these out. At number 12, coming into the top 12, I have the Denver Broncos at 4-3. Again, playing with, boy, did they look good. Again, granted, it's the Saints. Granted, the Saints have not looked great these last couple of weeks, and it's, they had Spencer Rattler. Snack. He was the quarterback there. Did not look great. If I'm the Saints, I'm starting Hainer from here on out. But Broncos look good on the road in the Superdome, which is a tough place to play. Even when the Saints suck, the Superdome is a tough place to play. Bo is getting better. It's taking a while, but he is getting better. And plus, that Broncos defense is very good. So I have the Broncos popping back in at number 12. Number 11, Buccaneers down 5 spots. Listen, it was looking good. You kind of had the Titans thing there. You're up 10-0. I was like, oh, maybe I'm right. I picked the Buccaneers to beat the Ravens. I was like, maybe it's an off game for the Ravens. The first quarter, the Buccaneers had 133 yards and the Ravens had 8. And you're like, oh, shit, here we go. That Buccaneers defense is getting to Lamar. They sacked him twice, big losses. Boy, and then the second quarter started. And it was done over in Dunskies. And granted, they made a bit of a failed comeback attempt. They got an onside kick, which was pretty fucking cool. That was fun to watch. But now you lost Mike Evans. He's gone for at least a couple weeks, at least 4 or 5 weeks. They said probably after week 11 is when he'll be able to come back from the hamstring injury. Godwin, you lost in trying to come back there. You were down 10 points, no timeouts, a minute 30 left or something like that. I understand why you're still playing hard. I understand why you're still going after it, because there is a chance. You've already got the onside. You already got one onside kick. So if all you need to do is get a touchdown or a field goal at that point, get another onside kick, and then score again, which I've seen weirder shit happen in the NFL. So, and you play until the clock hits 0. I get that. So the people saying like, what was he doing in garbage time? It wasn't garbage time yet. It wasn't garbage time in my opinion. I was still fighting. So, kudos to them for still fighting, but you put yourselves in that hole. Baker threw 2 terrible interceptions that you just cannot throw. And he did so. There were other parts he played well, but he also had those 2 that were so bad. But so that's why you lost fairly badly. The score was not as close as the game indicated. So Buccaneers at 4-3, down 5 spots at number 11. Number 10, actually up 2 spots simply because of how everything else fell with everybody. Even though they're on a bye, bear down, Chicago Bears, and they're gonna play Washington this week. Actually, I can't speak, but they are. They got a big test coming up against the Washington football team of Redskin Commanders in Landover, Maryland. So this is a road game. We're going to see how they do, especially if Jaden plays. We're going to see how Jaden plays, how the ribs are, if that affects him at all. Will he still be the same guy? And can the Bears take advantage of that? Can they go ahead and kind of beat, if Jaden doesn't play, can they beat a Marcus Mariota-led team? Which you would hope, if you're a good team, you would be able to do. So a test, I think, either way here for the Bears coming up. But they are at number 10 in my power rankings. At number 9, I got the Bills up 2 spots. Again, they mollywopped Tennessee. Tennessee was up early, 10-0 there in the first quarter. Then the Bills came all the way back. Played well, played good enough. They now have won 2 games in a row against the Jets and the Titans. Be that as it may, they're 5-2. They now lead the AFC East by a wide margin on everybody else. They have a tiebreaker already on the Jets. This seems, again, like we all thought this was going to be the Bills' year where they declined. Instead, they are 5-2 and still clearly the class of the AFC East. So they are there at number 9. At number 8, we have the Texans down 1 spot. You lose by 2 points on a very last-second field goal. They played well on the road in Lambeau against Green Bay and those terrible icy white winter warning. It's a winter warning. It's not winter. It's fucking October, assholes. And not only that, unseasonably warm October. So what the fuck are we even doing? But it would have been better if they put the gold stripe in the middle. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, down only a spot because of that. It was a very close game. You're winning it right there until the end, and then there's a big kick from just the guy, the Packers had just signed in the middle of the week, McManus. So, again, good game, close game, tough loss, only down a spot, and still 5-2. So that's where I have the Texans. At number 7, I have the Steelers up 2 spots at 5-2. You're a 5-2 team in what everybody thought was going to be the toughest division, in which they thought you were going to be the weakest team in that division. Your defense has shown to be, again, what everybody thought it was going to be. Then you have Justin Fields actually playing pretty decent football, not turning the ball over, managing the game well. Again, it got you to 3-0, and then eventually to 4-2, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you say, "Oh, we're going to start Russell Wilson," and everybody's like, "Oh no, do you want to change horses midstream? Things are going right. If it's not broke, don't fix it." All these things, and then you get Russell Wilson in there, who looked a little shaky to start, but boy, did he start hitting his stride. Now, they got another game coming up this week. Does he turn into Mr. Unlimited again, or dangerous? Does he start doing that shit? Does he start getting super, again, he's a weird guy anyway. Does he start getting super weird? Does he start sniffing his own farts again? And does he then now throw 3 picks and take 16 sacks and the Steelers lose? We'll see. But if he plays like he did on Sunday night against the New York Jets, I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of Russell Wilson here in the weeks to follow, and the Steelers might keep on climbing up these power rankings. At number 6, I have the Packers. They're up 2 spots. Again, close win, good win at home where you had to go ahead and get a little bit of that Lambeau legacy back there. Start winning at home. You've already lost there against the Vikings, and again, with the way the NFC North is going, having a division loss is not great with how close everything I think is going to be. But you have the Texans coming up there, a good team out of conference. You got a last-second win, and it's the NFL, baby. A win is a win. You're 5-2, which is one of the best records in the NFC. Right now, you're only a game behind the Lions, or half a game behind the Lions and a game behind the Vikings now. Like you're right there. You're in the thick of it, and you're one of the teams that are considered to be one of the favorites in the NFC. So the Packers up 2 spots to 6. At number 5, for no change here, I have the Washington football team of Redskin Commanders at 5-2. I have them at no change simply because, again, they lost Jaden Daniels. That sucks. They did win with Marcus Mariota. That's impressive. They did play against the Panthers. Not so impressive. To me, it feels like Bayonne High School could beat the Panthers at this point. At least be competitive anyway. And that's sad. That's not a great thing. That's not a great thing. They always say, like, man, there's not a college team that could go and beat an NFL team. I don't know. At this point, I would take maybe a Georgia or Ohio State might have a real good shot. They might have a real good shot against the Panthers. But yeah, so Washington, they won. They scored a lot of points, but again, it's the Panthers, so take that impressiveness as you will. This game coming up now against the Bears on Sunday, I think that's going to be a lot more of a benchmark game, a measuring stick game, as you hate me saying. But we're going to see where both of these teams are. And especially if Washington doesn't have Jaden Daniels, can they overcome some adversity? Boy, if Washington's able to beat the Bears without Jaden Daniels, now you're going to have a team here that feels like they can win even in the face of extreme adversity. When your MVP and Rookie of the Year candidate goes down, that you can still win games against teams that are 4-2 and very good. That could be something. So that is my number 5. At number 4, we have the Minnesota Vikings. Down 2 spots after, again, a very close loss to the Detroit Lions at home. We talked about this before with your picks. They were down, then they were up, then they were down again, then they fought to be back into the lead, and then the Lions kind of got last licks there, got close enough for the field goal, and when you got Master Bates there as your kicker from the Michigan Panthers in the UFL, that man can sling some leg, and he certainly did there, got the Lions to win. Again, it's a tough loss for the Vikings at home, which the Vikings, of course, beat the Packers at their home. So this just seems like it's a big just circle jerk of other teams beating other teams at other teams' home. So, like, are the Bears going to beat the Lions over at Ford Field? I don't know. Like, who knows how this is all going to be when this all ends. But there we go. Vikings at number 4. At number 3, Baltimore Ravens up a spot to number 3. A very impressive win. Again, you got to stop. At some point, my bias has to go away and be like, the Ravens, they might actually be good. They might actually be good. Now, in the playoffs, that'll be a different story because there's always playoff Lamar, and they'll probably find a way to blow it, which they always do. But for now, regular season, Ravens looking good. To me, it almost feels like an Eagles kind of situation. Hand the ball to Derrick Henry. Or play action to Derrick Henry and let Lamar Jackson run for 15 yards. Either way, it's going to work. Like kind of what we thought before the season, and we're seeing it on the field. It's like, that's actually working. That's, the whole handoff to Derrick Henry, that works. Fake the handoff to Derrick Henry and run it yourself, that works. Like, fuck throwing to anybody else. I'm sorry, Zay Flowers. I'm sorry, Isaiah Likely. We're just going to fucking run the ball the whole game. Then do that, and you'll win every single game for the Ravens. So the Ravens at number 3 at 5-2. Now at number 2, up a spot. The team that got themselves a win on the last-second field goal like we just talked about, the Detroit Lions. Again, the NFC North is a beast. All 4 NFC North teams still here in the top 12, actually in the top 10, as we have the Bears at number 10, Packers at 6, Vikings at 4, and the Lions at 2. NFC North it's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out for the rest of the season, but right now, this could be a historically good division. And I'm very interested to see how this works out. And I'm interested to see how the Lions do. Now, again, we did see this week that without Hutchinson, the pass rush was lacking a little bit for the Lions. And I guess that's to be expected. So now if you're the Lions, do you maybe start looking at there, or do you start going maybe a little bit of the Rams route and start talking to the Raiders and be like, man, fuck these picks. How many do you want for Max Crosby? Let's talk turkey here. And that might be something that comes up soon, because as I said, you saw the pass rush kind of took a dip for the Lions in this game. And I don't think you want that. You want to try to keep that up as much as possible. But there we go. We have the Lions there at number 2 at 5-1. And, of course, at number 1, as they've been since the start of the season, and until they lose a game, man, to be the man, you got to beat the man, and nobody's beating the man. It's the Kansas City Chiefs at number 1, 6-0. They play it. Patrick Mahomes is literally playing like shit. Like, Daniel Jones has better stats than Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And yet, the Chiefs are 6-0. What the fuck is going on? I have no idea. But, actually, I do have an idea. Their defense is fucking elite. They have such an elite defense. Their defense is... The Chiefs' defense is doing what the Steelers' defense is doing for them. And that's winning games. And here's the thing, is that the Steelers' offense is actually performing better than the Chiefs' offense. So, if it happens at some point that the Chiefs actually get healthy and get better and actually start playing like the Chiefs, I don't know. Is there a position higher than 1? I don't know. Because I don't know how much better that, like, all of a sudden you have a team that is unbeatable when they suck, and if they're good, how do you beat them? Like, at that point, you're going to be just putting your hands up in the air, like, how do beat team? No how. No, just forfeit game, white flag. That's it. Like Pecan in the chat keeps on saying, coaches should have that white flag, just throw it out on the field, boop, game over. Just do that. Because I don't know how else you're going to do that. But that is my top 12 for Week 7. After Week 7, you got the Chiefs at number 1, Lions at number 2, Ravens 3, Vikings at number 4. Then you got the Washington football team of Redskin Commanders at number 5. You have the Green Bay Packers at 6. Steelers up 2 spots to 7. Texans down a spot at 8. Bills up 2 spots to 9. Bears, who were on a bye, they actually get knocked up 2 spots to 10, just based on default. Then you have the Buccaneers down 5 spots after their loss to the Ravens at number 11. And the Denver fucking Broncos, Orange Crush, baby, at number 12, popping into the rankings there at 4 and 3. Jimbo, what else we got going on this week? We got the podcast coming up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Then we have Thursday night football. Who the fuck is playing this week? I forgot. Oh, that's a bad. I'm a bad football podcaster person.
Vikings and Rams.
Interesting in that. Well, here's the thing. As you always say, it's always either a quick turnaround is something you want after a loss, or it could compound the situation. For the Vikings, I think this is what you want. Kind of helps clean the palate. Just get right back out there after a close loss like that. You're like, fuck that. Let's get out there and hurt somebody. And Cooper Kupp might be back for this game, unless he's traded. Well, a lot of trade talk now going around about Cooper Kupp. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens there.
I did see Puka might be back to practice as well.
So back to practice, but he's not going to play in that game. It's on a short week. He's not going to play. So that'll be fun. But we'll be there. Of course, Friday will be the Friday forecast, where we will do our picks and predictions for Week 8 in the NFL. Saturday, we're going to the big HVAC unit to watch Notre Dame versus Navy. And now this game has become a lot more fucking scary than it was in the beginning of the year. It's like, service academies. Notre Dame should win. It should be a fun game. Now fucking Navy and Army are both 6-0, 7-0, whatever it is. Like, oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, Notre Dame, these are games that they lose against. Oh, no. So, all of a sudden, squeaky bum time on Saturday. But we'll be there. We'll be cheering on the Fighting Irish. And then, of course, Sunday, we will have our live streams as well. Who are the Eagles playing this week? Oh, Bengals. That's right. So you got Eagles, Bengals. Yeah. We'll be streaming that game as well as Sunday Night Football, which is the Cowboys and 49ers. And then again, we'll see you on Monday for the Giants and Steelers. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this game. I don't want to watch the Giants anymore. I don't want to. I don't want to do it. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us here on Stay Tuned. What's that?
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do if Danny Dimes puts 40 up on the Steelers?
Congratulations, we're still fucking 3-5. Who gives a shit? Who cares?
It won't give you a little hope.
Hope for what? Because the
Maybe
next
turn the
week,
season
because
around.
what? Because the moment we play at MetLife, I know we're only getting 3 points because we can't score touchdowns at the fucking big AC unit. We can't do it. It's impossible. The ghost of Jimmy Hoffa keeps on just fucking with people. All the dead mobsters that are around in the fucking weeds there are just, ooh, everybody's scared, I guess. I don't know. We can't score. We cannot score at MetLife. Being at MetLife Stadium is like being me from, a teenager till I was, 32? Can't score. Just can't do it. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us here on Stay Tuned Sports and the Countdown as we gave you our top 12 picks in the power rankings for Week 7 here in the NFL. We will see you again tomorrow for the main podcast. If you like what you're watching, please give us a like, share, subscribe. It helps us out tremendously. And if you want to help us out more directly, links for the donation station and our merch store are in the description below. I think that's going to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here. And we will see you tomorrow for the flagship show, Stay Tuned Sports. Until then, adios, everybody.